Hi, everybody. This week we're on week 5, which is way over the hump week. We're into the final stretches. We have next week, and that's it. And then you get a nice winter break. I'm sure all of you are saying, yes, we finally are going to get to our winter break. And I'm right there with you. It's been a long fall. And not with you guys, but just with all that's what's going on. Actually, you've been a great class, and I really appreciate all the work you've put into it. So when we're looking at this week, we're looking at restorative justice. For any of you who've had me in classes before, you know that I believe in restorative justice. In certain aspects of it, I think it really, really works well in the juvenile court system. And there's many, many papers you can find on it having to do with the juvenile court system. You can find it through the Office for Juvenile Justice, the OJJDP.com or .org. I'll send that to you as it is. And then you also have them, there's an entire page on its own on restorative justice. So we're going to go over some of that. But we're going to look right now, what is restorative justice? Restorative justice it encounters 5 interwoven elements: meaning, narrative, emotion, understanding, and agreement. If you don't have each and every one of those, then you don't have restorative justice. If you don't have the victim on board, then who is restored? Nobody's restored. If you don't have the perpetrator or the suspect or the person who committed the wrong on board, then you don't have him buying or her buying into that there needs to be restoration. So I think that it's really important to realize that there's 5 of those. Again, meeting, narrative, emotion, understanding, and agreement. And if you look at those, you say to yourself, what does that exactly mean? It's actually I'm hoping that you enjoy this class this week as much as I enjoy restorative justice. I've done a lot of looking into it. I've used it in the past. I use it an awful lot in the juvenile court. The juvenile court has really, really embraced it, and you'll see that as you go along. So again, you have your discussion, and you have to have your discussion in on time. I know that I'm like a broken record with that, and I think that it's because we all need to look at what you're writing and then react to it and write respectfully back to each other, and that's been really great as well. The next thing we have is we're going to have um, our written assignment. All right, and our written assignment is going to be, again, 4 to 5 pages. And it's going to be identifying, describing restorative justice in specific detail, including the historic perspectives of restorative justice, and determine if progression has been made. Now, I've looked up a couple of things for you, and one of them I'm going to send to you, and you have your choice whether you're going to use it or not. But again, there's so many, and I don't know if any of you have ever done this before, but if you highlight and right click, and then you search, there are so many things you can find that have to do with that. Just add a word too. That's all you have to do is add a word. You just go to an item. On this one here, you know what I did? I right clicked, I searched this. What were the progressions to progressive justice? And I got many, many, many different sites. I hope that if some of you didn't know that's helpful to you, because I use that all the time. If I don't understand something that I'm reading in a paper, not necessarily yours, but anything I'm reading, I'll right click it and then I'll look it up in Google to see what it is, especially if it's a word. If I don't understand a word, I'm always looking up words. So our counter to restorative justice, I have this page that I'm going to be sending to you. And if you look at, well, you can't look at it with my face there, can you? Okay, restorative justice places a high value in having the victim and the offender encounter one another. Now, would we have this done where it's domestic violence, or would we have this done on a sexual assault, or would we have this done on something that involved bodily injury? No, really, no, we wouldn't have that done. Um, this encounter might be done directly in a meeting between the two and perhaps others as well with a facilitator or a mediator. We have mediators that work in the court assisting them. It can be done indirectly through exchange of letters, videos, and by message delivered by a third party. Now, this is on the restorative.justice.org page, and I thought it was really interesting because there's a lot of stuff in here that you can learn from having to do with the restorative justice. So I'll send that to you as well. I hope that this week finds you well, and I'm hoping that you find that this assignment is as fun as I thought it was going to be, or it's going to be. I mean, I've actually had fun looking up a lot of stuff, a lot of areas that I think need to be changed. like what changes can be made to benefit victims. You know, one of the things that have been brought up during this class is that people, because of COVID, people have been able to do some, not testimony, but some court procedures through Zoom or through Google Meet. And victims haven't had to be in the court to say, hey, this is what I want. But the court has not yet given permission for um, victims to be able to testify via Zoom or testify via Google Meet or any other one of the other avenues. They're saying that the victim must be in the same room and must have same, must be able to view 100% of the time the victim as they testify. So this is why I think that on some of these cases, restorative justice is really good, because this is where the victim gets to speak back directly to the suspect or the perpetrator, whatever you want to call the person who did them wrong, and say, this is how you did me wrong, and this is how you need to fix it. And if you don't want to fix it that way, then let's just take it to court. So, all right, I wish you all a very great week. If you have any questions, please feel free to call me. My number is 413-883-3537. Bye-bye.